We'll put Irene aside for just a moment for that other tempest brewing, the good old political season. And it's actually been a pretty busy week in politics, not only because of the presidential campaign.
There's Vice President Biden's off-the-cuff remarks in China, and a senator who caught Nancy Reagan when she almost fell. CBS News political correspondent Jan Crawford has a look at this week's highlights. Jan, good to have you with us this morning.
It's very good to be here. Thanks.
We'll kick it off with the presidential race. A lot of talk about Mitt Romney and Rick Perry, really the front runners at this point.
That's right. And of course, Mitt Romney has been the front runner, but now with this entry into the race by Rick Perry, the Texas governor, Romney's seen some of his support start to erode. Whether that will continue or not, though, is an open question, because people who really follow Texas politics closely say there's a huge question about whether Perry, who's obviously good at winning Texas elections, can expand his appeal on a national scale. He's kind of got a reputation as almost shooting from the hip, like a real gunslinger. He's said some things already on the campaign trail about Ben Bernanke, saying, you know, it might get pretty ugly if you were to go down to Texas. And that doesn't always come over so well for these key independent voters, and also for women. So we'll have to see if that burst that has him eating into Romney's support actually lasts.
Let's talk about Florida Senator Marco Rubio for a moment. Talk about being in the right place at the right time at the Ronald Reagan Library with Nancy Reagan on his arm.
Right, and then she stumbles, and of course all this is caught on camera, and he catches her. I mean, he's almost like he just needs a cape. He's like the new superhero of the Republican Party, and that's a way a lot of people are now looking at Marco Rubio. People are saying that he is almost a lock to be the vice presidential nominee on the Republican ticket, no matter who wins the nomination, whether it's, you know, Perry or Romney. He could be the next VP. And so he, I think, has a lot of promise. He could be a key voice for reaching out to some of those Hispanic voters, which is obviously a very important constituency and will be in 2012.
Any chance he shoots a little higher than just being a VP on a ticket, though?
He has said no, that he's going to wait. He's not ready yet. He's obviously only been in the Senate, you know, just a little over a year now, and he's getting his experience. He's going on Afghanistan trips, but he is someone that people say we really need to watch.
Speaking of vice presidents, though, Vice President Biden, making a few headlines, which he's very good at doing, including one with some off-the-cuff remarks when he was in China this week.
That's right. I mean, he obviously went out there and to assure the Chinese that we're good for our debts. And he said he would not second-guess when he was out there China's one-child policy. Obviously, that's something that's quite controversial, and people here say would be abhorrent. And that's exactly what the Republican candidates did. They immediately shot back at Biden, criticized him for saying, how could anyone say they understand that policy? But of course, like you said, Erica, it's Joe Biden. People almost roll their eyes and say, well, there he goes again. It doesn't really stick.
Keeps it interesting.
And when you're with a sumo wrestler, that's a big deal.
Yes, in Mongolia. When you were the wrestler in Mongolia, that was a good picture, too.